Hey there, it's Heather Hakes. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to share with you, number one, what an emotional trigger is, but more importantly, how to heal it. Before we dive into today's video, I want to offer you a free video training on how to reprogram your subconscious mind. You can grab it directly in the description box below and also on my website, heatherhakes.com. Today, I want to deep dive the topic of emotions and how they are a check engine light for you. I want you to understand that when you are triggered, when you have a knee-jerk reaction to something, it is actually your greatest gift. Before we dive into what a trigger is and how to overcome it, I want to explain what emotions are. And think of it like this: emotion. It's energy in motion. And something that I talk about often with my coaching clients is, number one, you have to become aware of your emotions, those knee-jerk reactions, constantly feeling impatient, frustrated, annoyed, shame, guilt, etc. But what I want you to think of right now, and this is something that you can go Google, is what's called an emotional guidance scale. We have a spectrum of emotions. They're not good nor bad. They only have the power in which you give them. But on this emotional guidance scale, think of them as a spectrum. At the top of the scale is love, joy, gratitude, and you know what those feel like because they feel good. And at the bottom are fear, shame, guilt, worry, sadness. And you know what those feel like because, again, they don't feel good. So I want you to understand that your emotions are your guidance scale. They are your internal GPS. They help you also to know what you're thinking about because, as I preach often, thoughts become things. When I talk about emotions and thoughts and the thought cycle, everything in your life stems from thought. They are the first domino. And what creates your emotions? It's the thoughts that you keep thinking. So if you're worrying about a future potential thing that might happen, that creates an emotion of worry, pain, suffering. Also, if we think about thoughts and you're dwelling on the past and the woulda, coulda, shoulda, and how you would do things over, and resentment, and that's also a trigger for your emotions. So here's what I want you to understand. Your emotions are a gift. And I feel like Peter Crone says it best. Peter Crone says that people and circumstances come into your life to reveal where you're not healed. So what I want to share with you today is a real world example. I got to witness this yesterday. This is something I pay attention to often. Anytime you have a knee-jerk reaction, that's an emotional trigger. It's more or less somebody hit your hot point. The thing is with emotions that you have to feel it to heal it. And so many of us were taught to suppress our emotions, to ignore them, right? Especially men. I have so much empathy for men. Men are taught specifically to suppress, and men going into war can't feel emotions because they would be vulnerable, weak, and susceptible to being killed, right? So men suppress, they aren't emotional beings. And then a lot of men have angry outbursts and are afraid to show emotion because they think it's weak and vulnerable. So right now, let's pause. I want you to think of an experience in the last couple of days in which you felt reactive, which you felt the need to defend, you didn't want to talk about, you wanted to brush it under the rug. I want you to think of that. I think a great one many people can relate to is driving in traffic. If you are reactive to somebody cutting you off or not using their blinker or going too slow, that triggers emotions such as frustration, impatience, and anger, right? So the circumstances happened. You're stuck in traffic, somebody cut you off, or maybe an email annoyed you, or somebody's not responding fast enough to a text you sent. Whatever is happening in your external world in which it's bringing up these emotions, it is a gift. Now, let me explain why. If you don't deal with these emotional triggers, if you don't deal with the constant state of feeling and being in fear, worry, doubt, stress, sadness, guilt, shame, resentment, anger, impatience, frustration. If you don't deal with those, then your future is not going to be any different than where you're at right now. So again, I want you to realize that people and circumstances that trigger you, it's a gift. So here's how you heal these emotional triggers, because I love the saying you have to feel it to heal it. So here's what I want you to do. The next time you get triggered, the next time you have that knee-jerk reaction, the next time you're reactive in traffic or with family or friends or significant others in email, wherever it may be, here's what you do. Step number 1, pause. Before you react, I want you to pause, and I just want you to become aware. Name the emotion. Now, this is something I teach my one-on-one coaching clients on how to go deep, on how to truly pull the weeds and plant new seeds. Because I'm telling you, if you don't change your emotions, which are triggered by your thoughts, the thoughts you keep thinking, you stay on this negative, vicious feedback loop, thinking and feeling the same. If you don't change the way you're thinking and feeling, nothing in your life will change. So when you do this work, when you heal from the inside out, when you become aware of those triggers, that is literally how you liberate and free yourself from the chains and the shackles of the past. So remember, step number 1, pause. Step number 2, become aware and name it. What is the emotion that you felt triggered? Insecure, impatient, frustrated, anger, worry, sadness. Name the emotion. And then I want you to be able to step back and become the observer of your thoughts and emotions, because here's what happens. If you don't step back and become the observer and start becoming curious and seeing it for what it is, you latch into and you get stuck in the story and the narrative of it, which is just continuing more of the same. So when you become aware and you pause and you observe it, you can even ask yourself questions like, okay, what is this teaching me? What is this showing me? What do I need to overcome? Now, this is a lot of self-introspection and self-awareness, but when you step out of that, so for example, let's use the analogy, the example of getting annoyed in traffic, getting pissed off, you get cut off, or somebody came in between or didn't use their blinker, they're going too slow. Okay, in that instant, name the emotion, frustration or impatience. You need to figure out what it is. Let's say it's impatient. The saying also goes, how you do anything is how you do everything. So if you don't allow this circumstance in traffic to help you heal, then you are going to continue getting triggered and feeling the emotion of impatience. If you're impatient in traffic, then you're impatient with people and you're impatient with yourself. And you just create this state of being of impatience. And what I want to share with you and truly teach you is, your state of being is creating your reality. If you don't like where you're currently at in your health, your finances, your relationship, your business, understand your emotions as your check engine light, because that is how you create the true change. When you change your state of being, which is simply becoming aware and changing your thoughts and emotions, now you learn to self-regulate. Now is how you take your power back. Again, you have to feel it to heal it. So I want you to put this into play in order to heal yourself and stop being reactive in life. And you have the choice on how you respond. And when you start being calm, cool, collected, when you start being patient, loving, and kind, when you start being happy, joyful, and grateful, that becomes your new state of being, which means you have new thoughts and emotions. When you have new thoughts and emotions, you're literally going to create new outcomes in life, because how you are being, remember, life is a reflection, life is a mirror, that whatever's going on internally is reflected externally. When you are no longer living in these triggered emotional responsive reactions and you're living in these new high vibe emotions, everything in your life is going to change. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What questions do you have about emotional triggers, how to understand them, observe them, heal them? I'd love to hear from you so I can create more content that helps you. Feel free to comment below or message me directly on social media. For those that are ready to truly do the work and create that version 2.0, I offer one-on-one coaching. I would love to help you get from where you are to where you want to be, help you become a conscious creator of your reality. I offer a free discovery call, which you can schedule on my website, heatherhakes.com, to learn more. Thanks for watching today's video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel so you're the first to know when new videos drop, and give me a thumbs up. I'll catch you on the next one.